All right, next one. Away from the quarterback position. I had to throw you this one. It's the Bears pass catchers.
Yeah.
And now
really it's the personnel battle. It's the personnel battle.
Yes.
Not the position battle.
That's what I was going to get to, is that some positions, there's not really a battle, shall we say, like offensive line, quarterback, linebacker, those positions you don't rotate out. So there's no, you get the starting position or you're SOL and stuck on the bench the rest of the year until someone gets hurt. But pass catchers, it's like, say Luther Burden doesn't unseat Olamide Zaccheaus, he's not just never going to play. He still sees time. He might just be like fourth option as opposed to third option in the offense. But it's an interesting conversation because they have so many options now. So again, DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, I think their status is unchallenged. They're going to be the 1 and 2. But where they play, who fills the Amon-Ra St. Brown role, like everyone's excited to see that. Then you have Olamide Zaccheaus, who they added, obviously came over from Washington. You have Luther Burden, your second-round pick. Where do they shake out in this? And then where do they shake out given we have Cole Kmet and we just drafted Colston Loveland in top 10?
Which is great.
This is great. Getting paid at the tight end position, who's been productive. And it's almost like a complementary type to Colston Loveland, who's much more of a move type, whereas Cole Kmet can play in line. He's a huge mammoth of a tight end. So just how does it all shake out? That's what I'm looking forward to. Like I said, not really calling it a battle, but what do you anticipate? We're 4 weeks into the season. What does this offense look like for you?
Right now, we're in Chef Ben Johnson's kitchen at the Michelin star restaurant. And, when you walk into a restaurant, there's that door. You walk up, you're like, is this the place? Is this not the place? You open the door, you walk in, you get greeted by, a handsome man and a beautiful woman. And they ask you and your wife, is this the party of two? Okay, follow us. And then you walk back there and you can see that glass window where the chefs are behind it. And it's like, oh, babe, check it out. And you see all the ingredients. You don't see them cooking yet, but all the ingredients are laid out in front of you. And it's Colston Loveland, it's Cole Kmet, it's Luther Burden, it's DJ Moore, it's Rome Odunze. And, you're racking your brain about what kind of dishes we could get from Chef Johnson tonight. The biggest battle, so to speak, and I'll give credit to Clay Harbor for painting it this way, is the personnel battle between 11 personnel and 12 personnel for the Chicago Bears. Which one of these rookies proves to be venomous in training camp? Can't miss. Got to have him on the field in order to succeed. Is it more Colston Loveland, or is Luther Burden the guy that steps up and is like, I need the football too, because if I become a dangerous part of our offense, everybody eats. So is it going to be 11 or is it going to be 12 personnel? If they do go 12 personnel, I do think they have the personnel to run the football. Obviously, you've got the inline tight end with Cole Kmet, and you can do so much with Colston Loveland. But I do think that we see early downs. You're going to see Caleb Williams under center. You're going to see 12 personnel, and you're going to see opportunities for heavy play action balls down the field to some of these pass catchers, because they've got guys who just weren't utilized last year as much as they should.
Yeah, I'm right there with you that they have the ingredients to make a lot of different dishes. And I think that's this conversation might be moot, because that might be the point, is that they might week one make, an 11 personnel dish. They might be trying Luther Burden out there, throwing them screens.
We are featuring him today.
Yes.
Or this
because say the team they're going up against, only has stout run defense, and they only have one good corner. And so you think you can get Luther Burden on their nickel and it's like game over, So that's week one. Week two, bad run defense. They think they match up well with their front seven. All of a sudden, Cole Kmet and Colston Loveland are both out there. Like, that's, I think, the whole point is that week to week, Ben Johnson can create and craft whichever game plan he feels is necessary. And that's why I'm like, whew, I don't want to, like, the Bears are the most intriguing team to me because of that, because of what they could be, what the ceiling of this team is. If Caleb Williams reaches where a lot of people thought he could go pre-draft, myself included, like a Super Bowl's in play, truly. Like, he makes a second-year leap to a Super Bowl is in play. Given I got to stop saying this stuff, because I think you're raising your desk up right now, but it makes them super dangerous. And I do worry though, Luther Burden's soft tissue injury. He's been out for over 6 weeks this offseason.
We got time, baby. You know, that clean
Hamper.
air up in Lake Forest in the summertime will do you good, Luther. Just go in there to Hallis Hall. My buddy Jeremy, the trainer, he'll take care of you. He's really good with the soft tissue stuff. Trust me, I dealt with a lot of it.
So we'll see.
Hey, I want to tell him myself.
Okay, let's hear it.
About something. So we just finished up we're wrapping up our off-season coverage of the National Football League. We did the combine, we did the draft process, and I kept finding myself writing down comparisons for all these players. You know what I'm saying? Like Josh Simmons, Trent Williams, blah, 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 blah. And then I'm like, Wyatt Milam, Kyle Long. Gray Zabel, Kyle Long. Well, it seems that this kind of Kyle Long is every white O-lineman that I see filter has really permeated its way to the Midwest, because just yesterday or 2 days ago, I received a flood of tweets from Chicago Bears fan base that were like, hell yeah, nice, awesome. And I was like, what is this about? What is everybody talking about? So I click on the tweet above it, and Adam Johns, CHGO's insider for the Chicago Bears and, longtime coverer of the Bears, and a guy that I know well, he said on the field, Ozzie Trapillo looks like Kyle Long. It's not just his jersey number, but physically he's built like Kyle Long. He moves like Kyle Long. I'm starting to think that all white offensive linemen are just me. It's just like, remember in The Matrix where they were all the guy with the sunglasses?
Yeah.
Or in Taken, when they're like, I'm looking for Marco from Tripolia. And the guy's like, we are all Marco from Tripolia. Dude, we are a hive mind. All the big bald, well, Ozzie's not bald, but let's just say all the big, handsome O-linemen.
It's basically, I think it's if you're white and you don't have like a gut. I think that was the calling card. Was
if you're relatively lean.
A lean white offensive lineman.
That's your comp.
Kyle Long comp.
Okay.
It's like, it's like every wide receiver built like a running back, Deebo Samuel. It's there's a type, and everyone just hammers it. People are simple. They were simple men in the draft game. You see a few things that look like someone, and you're like, him immediately. Yeah, I'll just say, watching Ozzie Trapillo's tape got him confused for Kyle Long. I was different type of player.
I hope he's a great player.
I do too, but different type of player. All right, last one here before we take a quick break. Position battle number 5. Texans offensive line. This one,
a lot of names.
This is a fun one because not only is it like a battle, it's kind of a free-for-all. They went with the kitchen sink approach to replacing Laramie Tunsil. And so obviously I think they're penciled in starting 5 as it stands right now is Cam Robinson, who they signed for agency after he got traded to the Vikings last year, most of his career at the Jaguars. He's in at left tackle. Laken Tomlinson, who they signed from the Seahawks, who's kind of been a journeyman at this point from Giants, or not Giants, Jets, Lions. He's penciled in at left guard. Jared Patterson, former Domer, penciled in at center. Titus Howard, who spent most of his career at tackle, their former first rounder. I believe they're moving him to guard. And then Blake Fisher, your second rounder, another Domer from a year ago. He's penciled in at right tackle. That's O-line U, if you're paying attention. That's probably starting 5. But you have Ariante Ursary from Minnesota, who is your second round pick this past year, who to me, compared to Blake Fisher, when I saw Blake Fisher coming out, Fisher was a project. I could have told you that from, by the point he was drafted, he was terrible last year as a rookie. That's just like what he was. But he was a right tackle at Notre Dame. He's back to the right side this year. Ariante Ursary, less of a project, maybe just doesn't have the ceiling that Fisher has, less of an athlete as well. Juice Scruggs was a former second rounder as well. He could factor into the center mix. He could factor into the left guard mix out of Penn State. Jake Andrews, he has started a lot of games for the New England Patriots over the years. He could factor in the center position as well. Ed Ingram, 3-year starter for the Minnesota Vikings. They traded for this offseason. Obviously, he was never great. That's why the Minnesota Vikings got rid of him and kind of completely overhauled their interior offensive line. But he could factor in here to one of the positions. And then Trent Brown, who at one point was the highest paid offensive lineman in the NFL,
and the highest
has a tattoo of himself getting a threesome on his arm.
It's incredible. It's a really bad tattoo.
It's
Not only distasteful, but like drawn by a 7-year-old who was blindfolded, and they made him do it with their opposite hand.
They made the most like voluptuous women though. I think he's only
Trent
dating.
Brown wouldn't have it any other way.
Exactly.
I'll say this about the Houston O-line room.
Yeah.
They lost their Kim K. Okay, let's just look at this like it's reality TV here. So Laramie Tunsil, extremely good at what he did. He's no longer there. They, as a unit, were not really good at what they did, which was protect the quarterback, which is why CJ Stroud had such a big dip last year. Mm-hmm. What I'm reminded of when I look at this cast of characters, we'll call it, is it reminds me of reality television, because you've got a lot of names that you recognize that don't really have a ton to offer. But then there are some names that have potential to be somebody. Like right now, if you go on TikTok, you'll see that this gentleman, Theo Vaughn, is one of the most highly covered, highly clipped people on the internet. At one time, he was one of those dumbasses on a reality show like 15 years ago.
What was it? Road Rules? That's what he was on?
It might have been Road Rules. Yeah. But like, he's a star now. You know what I'm saying? Ariante Ursary could be a star. Any number one of these guys that are youngsters for this group can step up with positional versatility and play. I have concerns about going with the sign everybody, any and all, Trent Brown, all these names. And Cam Robinson slotted to be your left tackle. The last time we saw Cam Robinson on the field, he didn't look very great to me. And there's a reason he didn't stick where he was the last two times. Laken Tomlinson has dealt with injury, but he's a guy that could play coming out of the draft, and he's had a lot of experience in the National Football League. Look, I mean, it's not terrible. It's probably better than last year, but a lot of it hangs on how Cam Robinson does, obviously, because C.J. Stroud doesn't see who Cam Robinson is getting beat by and how healthy this group can stay.
Yeah, it's an interesting unit for sure, because you have, of these, you have 9 guys who are either multi-year starters or first or second round picks. That's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of people in the mix. So we'll see.
These aren't D-listers, they're C-listers.
Yeah, that's also